Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Connor's in the house, boy. What is good with the fam? We got the squad in today. It's Trey, your boy Kris. We're vibing. We're getting ready to talk about some crypto news. What is up, guys? How are we all doing? Let's say hi in the chat if you're in here. It looks like we got a couple of people loading. They're loading in right now. Let's get them loaded in there so we can crush them with the alpha, baby.
Yes, sir. Markets are absolutely crushing right now. Big news today. ETH is not a security. They dropped the investigation. To be honest, I think this is a market manipulation event. I think everybody agrees with me. It's just not many people are willing to say it, which means altcoin season is right around the corner. Things are heating up. It's not the end of the world. I still don't understand. Well, I'll get into that, but I still don't understand why everyone's like going crazy about, oh my God, it's over. And Bitcoin's trading at all-time highs. And like meme coins died. All AI coins died. I don't know what these guys are people. These people live in Narnia because if the price goes down and you know it's hot, you can reposition yourself in there. But we'll get into all the complaining later. But ultimately, now's the time to start making moves. It's like a golden gateway. It's like the what's that bridge in San Francisco called?
Yeah, the Golden Gate Bridge. You're right there.
The Golden Gate Bridge has opened. We have a clear pathway for the Ethereum ETF to get approved. What does that mean? That means people from the stock market, TradFi, all the guys you hate, they're going to come in and start buying like crazy. And they're going to go for the safe stuff for whatever reason. I don't know. And I personally don't care. So we're going to see a bunch of this money flow into Ethereum. Comes into Ethereum. Where does it go next? It goes into altcoins on Ethereum. It goes into layer 2s. It goes into even maybe L2s on Bitcoin. That is like the faucet coming into the ecosystem. What do we preach here on the Verse Crypto channel? We preach front run narratives, get in early, find plays, make educated decisions. Don't be emotional, be rational, and be the black sheep. I'm wearing black for a reason. You know why? Because we're black sheep. Nobody likes us on Pulse Chain. It's pretty sick. And the best part about it is we just keep doing our thing. We keep making money. We keep winning. And our boys are absolutely stacking it because we are here to rob the bank. YouTube, please don't demonetize me. I'm not actually going to rob a bank. So you guys get the point. This is going to be a really great show. We've been talking about Blast because nobody really picked up on it. We're flailing our arms around like SpongeBob SquarePants in the Nickelodeon TV show. We're also seeing a layer 0 airdrop. We're seeing a ZK, what was it? The scroll airdrop. They're doing airdrops, and you're telling you because they're getting ready for altcoins. So I went on a rant, man. Did you get all that?
Oh, that was really good, man. That was good stuff. Like it seems like the market sentiment is in a strange place. I don't know how you can be bearish when we're trading sideways around all-time high. I know we saw what happened with the Ethereum ETF announcement. And so when we saw that Bitcoin dominance drop, everybody got excited. Everybody was thinking altcoin season's coming. We kind of knew that might have been a little premature, but now we see these L2s loading up. We see Ethereum winning. We see a letter from SEC to consensus. All of these are indicating big wins and that Ethereum is getting ready to moon. So this is the channel to get all the alpha about layer 2s, what we're getting on Ethereum. This is the time to be checked in. I'm super excited. Can't wait to check out the dominance charts today and just dive right in, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I'm excited. We'll talk about blasts and Pulsion ecosystems and all that stuff. talk about what's going on with Maria, because she had a really great, not she, him. All right, what's his name? Aaron or something? James. I'm gonna start calling him James. I keep saying Maria and keep thinking it's a girl, dude. Whatever. But the point is, James had a great presentation, and 99.9999999% of people on Poleshane went right over their head, just like this. I was listening to last night. My eyes just went like this.
Eyes wide shut. Let's go.
Isn't that a show?
Revelations last night?
What?
Did you get some revelations when you saw it?
Yes. Yeah. We need to talk about this because there is something being built out and it's going to be crazy. So we'll talk about that. But the one thing I want to get across to you guys about the ETFs before we get into the BSing and making fun of people and talk about altcoins, there's got to be a Solana ETF. Grayscale's doing a Bitcoin layer 2 ETF. They're already talking about a Memecoin ETF. They're talking about an AI altcoin ETF. They're talking about DPIN ETF. They're talking about gaming ETF. They're talking about a SocialFi ETF. Why am I saying ETF and why am I talking about all these narratives? There's gonna be a couple projects from every single narrative that is going to win. I get it. You guys like to be degens. We like to be degens. We like to do dumb stuff. We were on Solana trading pump.fun coins. That's like the lowest of the low. So you guys get the point. If you're doing that, you are a true diehard degen to your core. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because some of these coins will make it into that ETF, and the ones that you can figure out are going to be insane gains and could make you multimillionaire. I'm calling it right now, especially the AI ETF that I know they have planned. So with all that being said, we need to talk about some Blast, and then we'll get into the Poleshane and Maria stuff. Now, something interesting just came across my screen about Blast. Hopefully that's the right one. Oh, my bad. You see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so check this out. So Blast is doing this jackpot, and believe it or not, Trey Souls hit me up about it, and I was like, I don't know about that, man. I was getting nervous, but he was 100% correct about we should have done this. So I admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong, but 90% you guys wouldn't. So basically, they're doing this like jackpot where you can get like a little ticket based off of the tokens you own, and then you put it in, you get a drawing. Andy just got an estimated, and basically if you win the jackpot you get an airdrop. Andy got 7% of this allocated jackpot supply, and it's going to be in the Blast token, and it's going to be worth anywhere between $750,000 to $2.1 million. So what does that mean? That means that anyone that was in Andy is going to get a Blast airdrop. That means when Blast hits the market, the valuation is going to be somewhere between 1 to 4 billion. I'm not going to speculate because I see all these numbers and stuff, but the point is, this is how people think. They're going to be like, dang, I got this token. There's going to be another airdrop, but man, there's a meme coin. There's Andy on Blast. What am I going to do? I am going to sell my Blast token and purchase Andy because it's going to be a better bet on the Blast ecosystem. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to sell my Blast token, purchase Andy. It's going to be a better bet on the Blast ecosystem. We talked about this in past live streams, but now the community is getting $2.1 million straight to them. I would bet my bottom dollar a good amount of that is going straight into the Andy token right when this happens. Very bullish synopsis. Any thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, man, I love it. I love being able to think about transferring from the native gas token into something with a lot more upside. Andy is plastered all over X right now. There's big influencers talking about this guy right now, and I really feel like this is going to be the next Brett. That's not financial advice, but I'm calling it right now. This is going to be the next Brett. We're going to see it happen soon, and it's only a matter of time before this thing is a complete mooner.
Yeah. And check this out. I heard a really great quote the other day. I buy Andy on Blast, but I sell it on Binance. Think about that. I mean, no, excuse me. I buy Andy on Thruster, which is a DEX on Blast, and I sell it on Binance. Think about that for a second. What does that mean?
Means Andy's going to be a multi-chain.
It means Andy has yet to get listed on centralized exchanges. So if you get in now before they put it on Binance, they put it on Coinbase, they put it on Gemini, they put it on all this stuff, and it starts opening up the doorway, that's when you're going to see the floodgates open. That's when you're going to see the money come in. And if you get there before, I'm going to give you guys a really great example. There's a project called Lithium. I think most of you guys don't never heard of it. You will hear about it in about a month or two. It's a proof of work DAG blockchain. Nobody had any idea what it was. We went onto a McDonald's exchange. I don't even remember the name of the exchange. I think it was like Safe Trade or something. And we purchased this token because it was a new approach to proof of work blockchains, and there's a community behind it. Next thing you know, Lithium got a bridge token from the Lithium blockchain onto Ethereum so that the Ethereum bros can go and purchase the token, and the market cap went from 5 million to over 150 million over the course of 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks when it was tradable on the Ethereum blockchain. Now just think about that for 1 second. If this Andy goes crazy and they start listing it everywhere, they do a bridge token on Ethereum. I'm not saying they are, but they could. That is going to create a pent-up demand behind the Andy on Blast. On top of that, yellow character, yellow chain. Everybody knows the Pepeverse. Any thoughts, man?
You just said it best right there at the end, man. The yellow character, yellow chain, it's right there in your face. It's been there in your face for months. It's been sitting on that chain for a fat minute. And you had that, you had Pac-Man, and you had some other things on there, but nothing was as marketing wise as potent as Andy, and I'm pretty excited to see what's happening. So yeah, good stuff, good analysis.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to throw out here, so this is going to be happening on the 26th. So the Blast airdrop's on the 26th. If you add any assets onto it, did transactions, generate volume, you're going to have the opportunity to get an airdrop there. On top of that, Layer Zero is actually launching their airdrop tomorrow. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I was pretty excited to see all these airdrops coming right now.
Yeah, we got, I think, 5,000 Layer Zero tokens for using God, what was it called? Stargate. So Layer Zero is doing their airdrop, Scrolls in their airdrop, ZK did their airdrop. Like, why do you think they're all doing their airdrop right now, dude?
Because it's time for Ethereum to roll, man, and we're gonna see July 2nd roll around. And I was telling you earlier in this month, and telling the viewers earlier in this month, June's gonna be the time where stuff starts to get hot. It starts to heat up, and in July, it's gonna set on fire, and we're gonna see some protocols do some crazy things in July. So, especially possibly even ETH. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And that just tells you everything you need to know. And so the biggest thing I love about Blast is betting on Pac-Man or Pac-Moon. So also, last thing we'll leave. I know you're a Blast degen. Look, guys, Trey Souls, he finds the best, he finds the best meme coins, man. So out of all the meme coins you have researched, give us one small cap that you've been playing around with.
All
We'll
right.
give you guys one. We'll give you guys one. We're not going to cover it again, but we'll give you guys one.
Okay, this
What are
is
you
the one I
thinking?
want to cover because it looks like it's dead in the dirt right now.
All right.
I want you to go take a look at toys.
You like toys?
I like toys,
All right.
especially with the big flood of money that's going to be coming into Blast.
All right. Well, what's your thoughts on toys? Because I think they had something happen with their claim, but like what's the reason? I'm curious.
The reason is because of the way that the meme is, and the reason that the website's built, and the fact that not a lot of liquidity has volume has already pumped onto this chain. And I think with it being down in the dirt like that, everybody's forgot about it. But the dev team, this guy is legit. And I do think this thing may have the ability to spark back up some life. It may
Yeah.
not be the greatest play that I could pick, but I do still like it, even though it's down in the dirt.
Yeah, it is down in the dirt.
It's one of my high risk plays, man.
High risk plays. Love it, man. High risk plays. Degen. Here you guys heard it here first. That's a Degen play. So 261K market cap. Yeah. This thing's way down the dirt. So yeah, man,
You can't go. I feel like you can't go wrong. I put 250 in. What am I going to do if I lose 250? I have the ability for this thing to possibly see maybe a $10 million market cap. So we'll see what happens with this little guy.
I like your thinking. Okay, cool, awesome. All right, well, let's talk about Tropa. Because I think that's what everybody wants to talk about. They're like, we want you to talk about the good. So I'll tell you guys about the good. So if you guys come over here to KSB TV, they have an hour and a half interview of the story behind how Atropa was set up. I know. Notice how the viewership went up like a couple people after I started talking about Atropa. That's funny. So the reason why I want to talk about what's going on with James right now was he basically told the story about when PDI first launched. Well, not PDI, but when Pulse first launched, he came in and basically sniped up a bunch of the PDI supply and got 20% of the supply. Then started the Atropa token and took PDI and Atropa, paired it up, and just slowly started burning LP. Right after that, he also created the, I believe it was the TSFI token and then the down token. And so the TSFI token was set up and then the down token was set up. And the idea was to take Atropa, pair it up with these two tokens, burn a little bit, and then set it up so that if one person were to sell a bunch of Atropa, then you have two other tokens supporting the ecosystem. And so from there, he created this massive web of hundreds of tokens. And so the idea is you don't have any single exploit on one token because something could happen. You could have an exploit where someone comes in, mints a bunch of tokens, somebody buys up a bunch of supply and then dump it and then crash the price. So the idea is to build this ecosystem where everybody wins. And what I mean by everybody wins, if you got in at the beginning, you took the risk, you took the gamble like me and you did, you're up right now. You're up on TSFI, you're up on Atropa, you're up on PDI or P stables, the whole 9 yards. And so that is the main point I'm trying to get across. And that was his main goal from the get-go. After that, it started to evolve into something else where the goal is to potentially build some sort of game called Dysnomia. And so what I find very interesting, and I'll get to the main points of the conversation. You guys should go and watch this. I think everybody should watch this live stream because there's so much information in here. And if everybody on Pulse Chain would just listen to what this man says and what he talks about, from Hex to PDI to Atropa to Pulse Chain in general and the overall goals, he reflects everything that Richard Hart envisioned for the future of Pulse Chain. But I think the main thing, oh God, I can't remember what I was talking about. So the main thing I wanted to get across was he basically took a bunch of his coding that he did at like NASA and a lot of other corporations, and he created something called a random number generator. Now, I'm not getting into the nerd stuff, but if you took calculus in college, I took calculus 4, partial differential equations. Basically, it's extremely difficult to create a random number generator without using some sort of like computer program or software, but it has to be a really, really advanced. And so what James did was he actually integrated this into some of the tokens he created, and he's testing it out right now. So not only are you seeing the build out of this ecosystem that expands where you can actually make money and it's very difficult to exploit, he's also testing new components from a random number generator, the build out of a new game, and potentially creating a decentralized web on top of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially because of some of the more in-depth conversations that you and I have had about just some of this Internet of Things and Web3 action that we think is taking place. Man, it's going to be really interesting to see what he builds out with this Dysnomia.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Web on the blockchain it's almost an impossible concept, but this guy's obviously smart enough to do it.
Well, And I think the main point I'm trying to get across is this is a big science experiment. He came out and he's like, okay, so I think P stables are going to $1. PUSDT, PUSDC, and PDI are all going to $1. That's going to be the gateway. We got a Tropa, and then I'm going to pair it up with Down, and then TSFI, and then I'm going to take TSFI and pair it up with Legal. And I'm not going to go through the whole web. It's going to take us forever. And by setting this up, this is going to be a way for all you guys to win. And basically, the entire time he sat there and just tested it, looked at how people interacted, look at whether or not there's some sort of exploit that people can take advantage of. And finally, we're getting very close towards the end of phase one, where this entire ecosystem is being built out. And there's a good chance that we'll probably see, as money pumps in, this thing will grow and expand and blossom. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, this is a big one. And then at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys my pick for the number one potential sleeper in the Tropa ecosystem. I also hit up our boy Zach, because Zach loves this stuff. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to you, homie. So what was Maria talking about? Some concepts that I really want to highlight on. EHEX. In my opinion, I want to know your opinion, and just be blatantly honest with me. The reason why EHEX collapsed in price was because of all these hexagons. They decided, because Richard Hart tweeted about PHEX being better, we're going to sell everything on EHEX, and completely collapsed and died. What do you think? That's a fair assessment?
I absolutely think that's what most people thought. Yeah.
Okay. So James comes in and he talks about the situation, and he said, here's the deal. We copied Ethereum and created Pulse Chain. We put Hex on that Pulse Chain. And the thing about Hex is, with the Ethereum Hex, if Ethereum were to secede and gain adoption, but Hex fails, then everything on Pulse Chain will fail, because that is the gateway into Pulse Chain. EHEX is the gateway into Pulse Chain. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Now, if Ethereum were to fail and EHEX were to fail, then Pulse Chain can still succeed. Now, the main reason why I'm talking about this is because in the future, he predicts that EHEX and PX are going to hit parity. On top of that, when all the EHEX FUD came out, he bought 100 million EHEX on Pulse Chain. 100 million. And now he wants to integrate it into the Atropa ecosystem. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, my thoughts are this. Why would Richard build a blockchain that he said was designed to take load off of Ethereum if he was going to let his baby project die on it to gas fees? The answer is that he knew layer twos were going to be built. He knew that Pulse Chain would help with the gas fees. He knew that spicy tweets would shake out holders, and that's exactly what he wanted to do. Was use a spicy tweet, unfollow people, and see who was really left. Because when all of the flames subsided from the EHEX drama, there were still people left holding bags that they had staked for 15 years. And so the conviction has to be extremely high here. And I think that a lot of people lost sight of what Richard was doing at this time. And it was really a true psychological test to shake people out. So I think that there's no way he's going to build a blockchain and just let his baby go to die. I think he's going to see how people treat him throughout the lows, and then reward accordingly. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. And whether or not that was a psychological test, I mean, there is a case for it, and there's also a case where you just tweeted it out. But I mean, it would make sense if he did do that. But the main point I'm trying to get across is he mentioned this like 6 times in this video. He said Hex needs to reach a 555, so 15 years. So if EHEX needs to be around in 15 years to say it's successful, and it's a disservice to sit here and like call it Hex Classic or whatnot. And then he also mentioned about the possibility that well, he's predicting, he doesn't know, and he mentioned something about eHex being staked on Pulse Chain. I don't know how true that is, but he did talk about it once or twice in the video, which blew my mind a little bit. If that is possible, I don't know how you would do that. But the main point I'm trying to get across is eHex and pHex, there's going to be a narrative for these two to come to parity. I don't really talk about Hex that much, or we don't, because there's 50 billion channels that talk about stake your Hex 555, Richard Hart this, PulseX, body burn, gas fees. Even though there's layer twos out there that fix the gas fees issues, and people like Solana, and nobody cares about the ecosystem unless there's meme coins and speculation on it. But you guys get the point we're trying to get across. PRC20 parity. Will we see PRC20s reach parity to the ERC20 component? And then will we see this great yield farming experiment? That is the only selling point of Pulse Chain. I don't care who you are, or how long you've been in, or if you're an OG and whatnot. The only way we're going to convince people to come on to Pulse Chain is through PRC20s and yield farming and meme coin speculation. It's not going to be the gas fees. The gas fees argument is dumb. I think it's completely stupid because there's already alternatives to that right across the board. So yeah, ultimately, this was a great conversation. There's a lot of stuff that he really broke down. He gets into each and every single one of these tokens. And the last thing I will also point out was he talked about BFF, about bringing it up to $8,000 and doing pairings between BFF and the P stables or PDI. So right now he's building that out. And then the one thing I want to point out here, and I was talking to Zach and I was listening to this. There's one token that's extremely bullish that's building out another ecosystem. And it's right now being built out as we speak. And I talked to people who went to that conference, and this is one thing they were telling me. Independence and Stay have over hundreds of new token LP pairings that haven't really caught on yet. And so, in my opinion, Independence and Stay are two sleepers in the ecosystem that you'll hear about a lot in the future. So I'll follow Zach. I believe it's like at Zach313 or something, but he really talks about Independence and Stay a lot. And he's really, really bullish about Independence. And I'm pretty bullish about Independence as well. And then it's also ties into Zurich. So if you want to get into Independence, the best way to do is go from PDI to Atropa to down and straight into Independence. Any thoughts on that, man?
I'm sorry, man. I just got a message as you were saying that. I don't know too much about Independence or Stay, so I'm gonna have to check out Zaka, and I'm gonna have to go read up a little bit.
Check out Zaka, yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
yes, that's I think it's Zaka, ZACA. Let me look real quick just so we know exactly.
Yeah, ZACA at 313. But yeah, man, like I said, there's going to be a lot of new features in this ecosystem, and there's going to be a second layer coming out. So if you haven't had the chance to get in, like when we got in and we speculated, there is going to be an opportunity, and this narrative is going to keep running. Oh yeah, and then the last thing, I completely forgot. What James was saying was Teddy Bear. That's like the marketer for the Atropa ecosystem. That's like the main face. That's like the meme coin. That is what's going to be used to grab people in. So Teddy Bear is going to play a huge role in the Atropa ecosystem because ultimately it's going to be the face. And how he explained it is like a teddy bear is like really, really soft and welcoming, and it's not really aggressive. You don't see much stuff on aggressive like teddy bears. You know what I'm saying? So that's the idea behind the psychology with it. And so I completely agree. And I do think Teddy Bear is going to be the number one meme coin on Pulse Chain. They won and only. There's no second best. I'm just kidding.
You can only have one number one, dude. If you ain't first, you're last.
You ain't first, you last, baby. So definitely really love that and good stuff. And also one thing I want to point out on top of that, there's actually another token that's been building out. Oh yeah. All right. I swear this is the last thing. Now, one thing that James was talking about, And the biggest question he gets, he says, how can I help the Atropa ecosystem? What can I do to help you? And the first thing he said is, I don't really care what you do, which is kind of funny. And then the second thing he said was, so probably the best way to do this is you buy a token, whether it's P stables, Wrap BTC, or maybe even a PRC20. And with your bag, you launch another token and you set up similar to a Tropa. So let's say you buy Wrap Talent Pulse Chain and you name it Stargate or Stargate Atlantis or something. You pair that up and you burn it, and then you create your own little liquidity web and tie it into the Atropa ecosystem, because it's designed to have these LPs tied together. And then as money comes in, it just grows over time, like we're seeing with the PDI price floor. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's the biggest thing he was talking about. Now, one token I want to talk about that's taking that same ideology that was ahead of the curve, and it's actually from one of our really good buds. So give him a shout out. But they actually been building LPs like crazy. And this is one token I'm extremely bullish on. I'm really excited because they've been silently setting it up. The name of that project is Alien. So Aliens is within the PTGC ecosystem. The dev has been coming in, building out LPs with Alien, has been creating an LP web, has been plugging into all the PTG stuff, has also been plugging into Atropa, PDI, and all your favorite tokens. And so they're taking what James was talking about, launching a token, building it into the liquidity web, and then basically help contribute to the ecosystem. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It seems as if you can see the fruit from the PTGC project, and the fact that it's already had some great success just goes to show that if you follow the formula that James is talking about, you're obviously going to achieve some success in building on top of these ecosystems. So it's pretty cool to see that somebody's already done it and have a kind of a track record with what he's talking about.
Yeah, and if you guys just take a look at Alien versus Wrap Pulse, you can already see the price floor right here. Like you see a growing price floor coming across, basically kind of roughly. And so the main point I'm trying to get across is because they tied into Atropa, and then PTGC is basically built on top of like Atropa and all that stuff. Alien did the same exact model, and now they're slowly starting to grow. So I do firmly believe when we come into the future and Wrap Pulse starts pumping, you know, all these small tokens, they're gonna like dip down here versus Wrap Pulse, and then they're slowly gonna go like that. So that's the idea of how you can think about it with this price floor. So, but the main point I'm trying to get across is this is one of the few tokens that's doing it. I absolutely love Alien. The dev is a Chad. Everybody's getting behind it, and to me, it's a great leverage play in the PTGC ecosystem. So good stuff. Now that we're on the Pulse chain, meme coins, is there a meme coin that you like? You've been looking at? You want to share any alpha? You got any alpha? You holding out on anybody?
Pulse chain meme coins or Atropa tokens?
Oh, both, either or, just one. Which one?
Oh.
Like if you had to cut off your arm and then sell it for $20,000 so you can buy one, which one would you do?
Oh dang, bro! You're putting me on the spot with Pulse chain. I have not looked at Pulse chain and meme coins in so long.
You can be
But
generic if you want.
I'm gonna go with I like
Remember, you're
I'm
chopping your arm
biased
off.
towards that
It
coin
better be
because of
good.
where we got the entry.
Listen, you're chopping off your arm, dude. So it better be a good one. I'm just kidding.
Okay, if I'm chopping off my arm, I might want to get some more BFF, dude.
BFF?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good play, man. Actually, I know a lot of people that love this token, man. Oh, bro, I remember buying this at like, what was it, like $20 or $50?
No, it was we got in at $90.
$90. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so this thing dipped up to 8K. It waked up to 8K one day. Yeah, right here. Damn. I thought it wicked up a little bit higher. Was it on the 1 hourly? Oh, no way. So it was like on the 1 hourly.
8K and then drop.
Dude, it had AK, and then we got a Gravestone Doji, and then just dropped. You guys cheated that so hard. that was the biggest. That was the biggest sell the news. But nah, dude, this thing's been ripping. I think there's 777 tokens. Yeah. So yeah, I do agree with you, man. This thing is an absolute sleeper, and the goal is to get to AK. So awesome, good stuff, man. Cool. All right. Yeah, man. So I think we covered that. I guess last but not least, I guess we gotta get into some charts. You ready for some charts?
This is gonna be what I'm waiting for. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess everybody likes my chart analysis.
It's the
So
best part right here. I get glued in. Everybody gets to look at me looking like bubbles over here with my eyes all huge. I'm like all zoned
That-
in, bro. Looking like the Trailer Park Boys. But it's all right. It's okay. You know what? Got to see these wins. Got to see these gains.
Bubbles from Trailer Park, baby. Man, TP, baby. Gotta love some TP. Trailer Park boys. Let's go. All right. So what are we looking at? We covered this on Monday, so it's not really too much to report. Just build off of what I missed on my analysis on Monday. Now on the daily, man, I got a fly in my face. So on the daily, the one thing I really want to point out is the fact that we have a shoulder and a shoulder here. Actually, let's just look at the weekly. You can see it better on the weekly. Now, this M formation, that's not a good formation. And so anytime you see an M, whether it's like on a smaller time frame, so just a mound right here and a mound right here, that is not bullish. That's extremely bearish. That means this sucker is going to go like this. But that's not always the case. So the main point I'm trying to get across is what I want to see on Bitcoin when it closes out. I want to see it close out a little bit higher because we do not want to form that M formation. On the daily, we're seeing that beautiful head and shoulders or cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, and then break out to that price target. So right now, like I said, we're trading sideways. If you guys have been following us, the one thing I've been talking about is we need to see us come down here and test this low. I mentioned this multiple times. And the question is, where is this going to close out on the weekly? That's going to be a really, really big thing. I can definitely see it closing out a little bit higher since we just wicked all the way down to 64K. And then we could come up and get a little doji right here, indicating a trend reversal, which means next week is going to be extremely bullish. But ultimately, the real question is at the end of the week, where's this going to close out? And if this is a green candle, we're going to come up and test 71K. If this is still in the red, there's a good chance we could break down and come back down to 60K. So overall, we're still trading sideways. Nothing much going on. This is like
What does
the
that monthly candle look like today?
monthly. Oh, yeah. We touched down and looks like we're going a little bit above on the monthly. So monthly, we wicked down to 64K. So I will say one thing on the monthly, we're sitting at, what's this, the 19th. So if we close out on the monthly a little bit higher, and this turns out to be a little bit of a green. Now, if it's right here and this is a gravestone doji on the monthly, that's not good. You do not ever want to see a gravestone doji or shooting star. And a gravestone doji is where like this red part disappeared. And then a shooting star is where you have this little small red part right here. That is extremely bearish. And if that happens, then that means that next month is going to be extremely bearish as well. Keep in mind, these are based on percentages and chances. So I think the main point I'm trying to say is if we close out in the green, then things are going to be looking good, especially on the monthly. But I would not be surprised if we just stay right here and just trade sideways. So yeah, nothing really new to report on Bitcoin. We just been trading in the sideways range. As we told you guys, we have a price target for the next leg up based on that cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders. Up to you. And yeah, so good stuff. Bitcoin dominance. This is gonna be fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is the hot topic. So
It sure is. And it looks like you've been pretty spot on
yeah.
about this
Yeah.
topic. I would have to say. And I think that guys, I think folks, this is one of the most important topics you could be trying to master while you're looking at this. So just come to the verse for some top-notch analysis.
So if you guys just check out what I've been drawing on this, this was just a educated guess. Come up, touch, came back down, touch, come back up, touch, and then now we're coming back down. So what just happened that was really big, and you're probably seeing it all over Twitter right now.
ETH.
Yes,
The letter,
but
the SEC letter to consensus.
yes, but we just touched the 400 weekly moving average on the weekly. So there's a touch right here. Yeah.
Oh.
We just touched it. So we were talking about this the other day. So we came up and touched it right here and then whoop, came back down. Now, if you guys were in my last live stream, I talked about there's two major lines. So we got the 300 weekly moving average. And so if you touch it, it's going to break down. A lot of guys are starting to talk about this. Or we come here on the monthly.
This is what you were asking. If the 100-month was a new piece of news.
Yeah. So with the 100-month, it's still coming down. So the question is it going to break down on that 300 that 400 weekly moving average, or is it going to be the 100 monthly moving average where we see that breakdown? Now, the basis of this analysis that we're talking about is if we just come back here, and I'll show you in the past. Just take a look at the 300. So if you guys look at the 300 right here, came up, touched it, broke down. That's the idea behind it. Now with the 300, and then once the 300 came in, boom, we have the 400 moving average that came in and started coming across. So the 400 moving average is a better representation of the average move in the Bitcoin dominance percentage. So as we came across, you guys saw that we touched the 300 multiple times, but nothing really happened. And now we're coming across and we're seeing the 400 come down. So the question is this touch legitimate right here? Is this touch legitimate? Because if this starts to break down and at the end of this week, this resolves in a doji. So whether it's a gravestone doji or a shooting star doji or whatnot, that is bearish. And that means that we are going to see a breakdown coming down here. And then it's going to break out of this. My gosh, man, why do I forgot about this? Well, technically it's a pizza pattern, but ascending wedge. Yeah. So we're going to break out of this ascending wedge and then break down. So typically with this trading pattern, as it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. Once we break down, it usually shoots down. So this is a bearish pattern. So the main point I'm trying to get across is we're going to see next week, are we going to go much lower? And if we start going lower, that means it's going to be altcoin season. All system go, baby. Ready to rock and roll. That's it. It is showtime. So that's the main point I'm trying to get across. So it can come down here next week and then pop up here, test this line, and it'll break back down. So that means you'll start to see altcoins start to pump really hardcore between 2 to 3 weeks. So the real question is, where is this candle going to break out? I mean, excuse me, close at? Does that make sense right now?
It makes plenty of sense to me. I hope it does to the rest of the audience. I think it does. They look like they're responding well right here. You got this guy right here. Steps up, elevator down. Shout out Gugan. Shout out Gugan.
So that's scenario one. And then scenario two, which I want you guys to know, we have the 100 monthly moving average coming in. The reason why I want to put this out here is because it's also a better indicator than the 400 weekly moving average. We don't have any time history on the monthly scale of a massive breakdown on Bitcoin dominance, but it's also something to take into consideration. Now, if that breaks down, just keep an idea of it. Boom, altcoin season is going to happen, and we'll find out in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's where the speculation comes in. If you see that happen, are you going to make the move? Okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get this, I'm going to do that, because this is where altcoins are going to be extremely cheap before people come in and start speculating again. Or do we have another shakeout, have a reoccurring pattern, what we just saw with all the blood in the streets and whatnot, and then we start to see Bitcoin dominance come back up into this ascending wedge and then come back up and possibly test out the 100-month moving average? That's the question we're trying to figure out. So as for how this plays out, I would just pay close attention to the weekly closeouts and see how this goes. And there's a good chance that if this is the place we're going to test out, what you'll probably see is this massive wick that comes up. And once this line touches, that's going to be a massive indicator that, yes, all coins are coming around. Because if it hits the 400 and then comes in and hits the 100 monthly, honestly, at that point, I don't know what other indicator you need to get your mind in and say, hey, it's altcoin season. But also keep in mind when this stuff happens, people are sitting here and they're like, oh, I don't know if it's altcoin season. And then as more and more people become accoladed and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it is altcoin season, and more people figure it out, that's when it's usually towards the end of the market. Does that make sense?
It sure does make sense, man. I don't know if I can handle another shakeout, bro. If we have another shakeout, I'll probably just leave the market and quit. Just give up. What do you
Just
think?
give up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, bro. Just go work at McDonald's, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start filling out the application after this live.
I love it. I love it. So as for patterns to pay attention to, man, bro, God, dude, we draw way too much. Well, I draw, not you. So some things that you guys want to pay attention to. This is going to come down. It's got to test this line. It might break down below, and then it has to come back up and test it one more time. And then if we get a true breakout, we test it once, and then you're going to see it come in. Now, the one thing you guys want to pay attention to is something called the swing low, which is right here. The swing low. So it's the lowest point on the chart before the breakout. If we go below this swing low, you're going to see it do something like this. It's going to come down to the swing low, come back up, test it, and then it'll come back down. If we go below the swing low, that is your indicator that altcoin season's starting. It's all system go. This is the time to start buying meme coins and altcoins and being absolute degenerates. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I would pay attention to Bitcoin dominance, especially when it breaks down to 53%. That is going to be a great indicator, especially on this swing low, because that is going to say, all right, we're actually going. Now, it could come down here and then come back up and test it right here, and we might still be in Bitcoin season. We might have another clean out. So you guys got two scenarios, is what I'm saying. It's probably one or the other is going to happen, but if this starts to break down, that's what it's probably going to be looking like going on to the future. So hopefully that made sense. I don't know. I usually go on rants. So cool. Now let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum got some pretty bullish news. Wow. Why am I moving stuff? All right. So we got a massive magnet that Ethereum's been trading at that. Wow. Look at that. We got multiple touches on this one on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Man, that was a good magnet draw. Let's freaking go. All right. So we got a magnet about 3582 is what I'm looking at right now. And so the question is, can we get above this magnet and then come up? Now, right here, we got a massive inverse head and shoulders. Did I do the price target on this already? Yeah, I probably already did. So massive inverse head and shoulders on Ethereum. So if we start to do a breakout, our target's looking at 4,843. So how I see this playing out, when do we have the possible ETH ETF inflow?
July 2nd.
July 2nd. All right. Oh, that's right. We did a time frame. Oh, they moved this up. Okay. So this got moved up, and we were doing it based off of what they were projecting. So this could be a little bit sooner. All right. I might need to change that. Move this target up a little bit. Let's move this up to about, I'll say to the 4th. All right. So when that ETF inflow starts coming and hitting in, it's going to be like this for a little bit, for a couple days, and then it's going to explode up just like Bitcoin. And I guarantee you we'll probably come up here. And isn't this like the all-time high? Yeah. So up here, we're basically going to come up here, test the Ethereum all-time high, come back down, and then bounce off and then trade sideways for a minute. So what I think is when that ETH ETF comes in, that's going to trigger some more money coming into the market, and we're going to go up and test it because we're in a clear inverse head and shoulders. They're not suing consensus anymore. We're paving the path to hit that target. Does that make sense?
We're close, man. It's nice to see these things developing, dude.
Yeah. So I'm so excited, man. This is gonna be awesome, dude. This is gonna
Yeah,
be a really
very
good time.
very awesome. Good time to be alive and to be a degenerate.
So how will that translate to the Bitcoin dominance chart? Because this is extremely important because this is another scenario. I'll give you guys another scenario with the ETH ETF approval. So we got a massive Ethereum approval, ETH ETF approval. What do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin dominance?
We're gonna see it drop, no doubt, and then fake everybody out and make them think altcoin season's happening when it hasn't touched the 100-month moving average, and then everyone's gonna sell and they're gonna go crazy before the what was that point you called right here at the bottom? What was that little circle in the green?
The swing low.
The swing low, bro. They need to pay attention to the swing low, guys.
All right. Well, yeah, that's one scenario. There's multiple scenarios. I like to give people, scenario A, B, and C, just in case if one doesn't work out. But if that ETF starts to get approved, we're going to see a lot of money get into Ethereum. So the Bitcoin dominance is going to drop hard. As to how hard it's going to be, I'll be checking this swing low to see if we go lower or if we go higher and we get that fake out like Trey Souls was saying, or we go below it and then boom, altcoin season. So that's the main thing I'm looking at, especially with Ethereum, because we do see there's going to be a move to the upside. It's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they talk about some crazy BS event to shake you guys out again before it happens, just so they can get a position. But ultimately, all doors are ready. The stairway to heaven's there. It's about that time because, man, dude, this past week has been brutal on Twitter. Any thoughts on that, man?
It's been the worst week on Twitter in a while, bro. So staying away from there, bro. You're doing a great job on Twitter.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I like YouTube.
Like YouTube. All right. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. See if it's showing. Oh, whoa. Dogecoin broke down hard. Dang. Well, there goes our price target. It broke out of that ascending triangle very quick. I mean, well, technically you can say that's a flag, but dang. So the reason why we pay attention to Dogecoin is when Dogecoin starts running. Yeah, we had to go test out this magnet right here. So when Dogecoin starts running, that's when we're going to start to see dog season. So, I mean, to be honest with you, man, this thing's probably going to be trading sideways for a minute. I would not be surprised, dude, if they have some sort of Dogecoin ETF because that thing's so popular and Elon Musk is behind it. So cool. All right, man. Let's get into some charts. You ready for some charts?
Let's do it. Where we going?
Let's talk about Wrap Pulse. Let's see if it shows us anything. Yeah, not really. So it looks like we're just trading out a magnet. We kind of broke out of that trend line. So nothing really to report there. Yeah, I guess I'll leave the trend line because we've been 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks touch, and then we're coming here. So the question is, where will this close out? So I'll leave that there. But we're just trading at magnet. I mean, to be honest with you, this is like the best time to buy Wrap Pulse. If you guys are bullish on anything on Pulse Chain, probably like the main play you can make right now is get a bag of Wrap Pulse and then hold it. And then if there's an altcoin, PDI, a Tropa, a Teddy Bear, or whatnot, once that goes up, then you can rotate into PDI, a Tropa, and Teddy Bear because their price versus Wrap Pulse is going to go down. And that way you're going to have a crazy awesome position in if you were to do it right now. Does that make sense, or am I speaking language?
No, it definitely makes sense, man. You want to roll your Pulse Chain profits from the Pulse Chain lows into your high conviction plays like Teddy Bear. These things are going to give you a lot of upside, so give you the chance to roll money back. You could put money back into Pulse. You could put it into other things. Continue on if you do Teddy Bear and go into PDI. This is how we've done things all along. So getting in real low on the native token and then making it work for you.
Awesome. Yep. All right, let's check out your girl Linda. Linda, her had a couple red days. Shout out to Linda. Woo. All right, so Linda's our pick for the number one coin on Lina. So we were holding out this magnet for about 0.003926. It looks like we have a head and shoulders. Okay. Yeah. So we have a head and shoulders. So that's extremely bearish. So we have to come down here and man, there's a good chance we could come down to 0.01445 and test this out. I mean, there's a little bit of a magnet right here. If you want to, you can make a case for this being a magnet right here if you really want to. But I mean, ultimately, I do think that this thing's going to come back, especially when the Lina airdrop hits hard. This is sitting at about $2.3 million. So this is going to be the number one dog coin on Linda. And I also see a lot of big wallets hold this token in particular that are very, very big speculation on Memecoin. So, I mean, as of right now, bottomed out. Question is, where's this candle going to close out? So overall, it looks pretty good. Now we got to talk about our boy Scrolly, dude. Dude, Scrolly's a beast. Scrolly's a freaking beast, dude. Look at this thing, man. So basically, we started breaking up to the upside. Scrolly is the number one meme coin on the Scroll network. This is one that we're extremely bullish. It's forming a massive cup and handle right now. I'll tell you that on the daily. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but it is a massive cup and handle right here. And then you do see a little bit of a handle come in right here, which means if we were to do like a target on this coming across, if we were to break out, we would come up and then test all-time highs. So I do see Scrolly coming up and testing all-time highs pretty soon. This is a extremely bullish pattern coming across. Why is there so many wicks? I need to look at that. I don't know if that's from a Dex or something. I need to look into that. But overall, not looking too bad. Now, the other thing I want to check out on Scrolly, see if it'll let me. I want to check out the holders. Look at that. We got above 10K holders. So 12,889. The one thing I would say about Scrolly is pay attention to when they get to 20,000 holders. When that happens, dude, we're gonna see Scrolly get into not the tens of millions, but potentially hundreds of millions. So the amount of holders across Scrolly has been going up astronomically. Let's see. Oh, Beardy,
number one meme coin on Scroll.
Yes, sir. That was one you found, man. That was a good one. All right, Beardy. Looks like we're trading sideways at this magnet 0.035. This thing ripped in the market when everyone was so bearish. Beardy just full sent it. I don't know if you saw that, but yesterday, dude, this thing just full sent and tried to test all-time highs. Little bit of a wow. So that was an inverse head and shoulders right there. So inverse head and shoulders. Broke out past its target and then just boom, massive bullish engulfing candle, and then broke down a little bit. But the one thing I will say is it is trading on this trend line right here. It's following this trend line that we drew to a T. So it is extremely bullish. We are getting higher lows. I do think Beardy is going to be a full sender when the Ethereum blockchain starts to come back and things get crazy. So Beardy, awesome. Looks phenomenal. Let's check out Andy on Blast, dude. I love Andy on Blast. I think this thing, man, I need to add this to the watch list.
Now ask me that question about cutting off a limb again. I'm cutting off my limbs. I'm cutting off my limbs for Andy, bro. Period.
Would you cut off your hand or your feet for Andy?
I would get rid of my handy.
Oh my god, dude! I guarantee you, YouTube hates us.
Yeah, they've hated us for several years now, according to our subscriber count. So we're all right.
I don't know who hates us more, Pulse Chain people or YouTube. So that's the real question.
I think it's a very convincing case for Pulse Chain people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So what we see with Andy, we see a beautiful Romeo and Juliet right here. So this is a Romeo and Juliet coming across. take a quick.
Hold up, now I'm confused because we had Adam and Eve that was a similar pattern. What is this?
Adam Eve. I'm sorry. I messed it up. I didn't mean Romeo. What did I say?
You said Romeo and Juliet, so I was like, okay, is something? Is it a backwards V and a U, or I was
All right.
learning?
All
So
right. My bad. I meant Adam Eve. I don't know why I said Romeo and Juliet. I feel
it
like
worked. I knew exactly what you meant.
honestly, dude, maybe I was just listening to Taylor Swift too much. Just I don't even know the lyrics to that song. I'm just kidding. Romeo, save me. Dude, I'm not gonna sing. You're actually a really good singer. Like your singing is awesome.
I
So
forgot all the Taylor Swift songs just now.
how could you forget about T Swift? I'm just kidding. I would never watch T Swift. I would jump out of my car if anyone played T Swift. But let's get back to business. So we got a target on the Adam and Eve that was just formed, coming up to about 56 cents. Now I'm curious to look at the Fibonacci retracement tool. Take a look where we're at. Wow. So this thing's looking good. So let's see what the target is on. All right. All right. So here's what I think you can look at for price targets for Andy, because we got the blast season coming in. I would probably say your first target for Andy is going to be somewhere right around here. Then that's going to be a very conservative target. Your second one, most realistic one is going to be at the 2.618 right here. And then your more aggressive target, the aggressive target is going to be probably right here when we start to see it really come out. So your overall targets we're seeing, and let me draw some lines across here just so I remember, because I am extremely bullish on Andy. Trey Souls is bullish on Andy. We think this is going to be the number one meme coin on Blast. There is no second best. Screw all the other Andy LARPs or whatever. This is how we're going to play ball. So these are the targets I'm looking at for Andy. We got one at 77 cents. We got one at about $1.24. And then this one is going to be at about $1.72. So conservative, medium, aggressive. Something I will say about Andy, if this thing is the number one meme coin on Blast, and Blast were to get a huge market share, keep in mind the TVL on Blast is almost very close to the TVL on Ethereum with how they did their airdrop system, and the fact that you can actually earn yield off of holding like Ethereum and USDC on it. If this becomes the number one meme coin, 1 billion would be FUD. Does that make sense?
It would be fun, definitely. You're talking, you're talking money getting flowed back into projects in the ecosystem with a different layer two structure. You're talking about these guys that are going to be all over this, dude. It's a no brainer that Blast is getting ready to blast off, bro.
Yeah. So if it gets to $1 billion, that would mean Andy would be at $10 a token. So it'd be right here. This is if Andy were to reach $1 billion valuation. Now, I'm not saying it is. There's a lot of things that have to happen. The airdrop has to go successfully. It has to basically reflect our thesis that a lot of people are going to come in and start speculating with the Andy token. So $10 is going to be $1 billion right here. Now, realistically, on the short term, this thing could blast up to $1, which would put it at I believe 100 million. So $1 would be $100 million market cap, and then it'll come up and start testing that $10 time frame. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I think in the first impulse of this, the first impulse and the first action of this move, it's going to be, it needs to get past that $100 million mark. And then we can start talking about that $1 billion one. And so there's 100 million tokens. $1 would be $100 million market cap. So pretty simple. But overall, man, Blast look absolutely bullish. Quick analysis. We have a massive bearish engulfing candle. Then we have a nice green candle coming in. Curious to see how this closes out on the daily. And then right now what I'm seeing is, wow, actually the magnet's right there. Yeah. So we're trading at this magnet. We came down to test this magnet. So to be honest with you guys, these two yellow lines right here, we could trade sideways up until that airdrop. And I'm going to get rid of this target. We could trade sideways up into this airdrop, and these are going to be great opportunities. So anywhere between 18 cents and I would say about 32 cents could be potential opportunities to get into Andy on Blast. But the patterns are telling me that this is extremely bullish. So overall, looking good, man. All right, man. Well,
How much for the airdrop? You said 2 billion.
I think it's 2 billion. I need to double check. Is it 2 billion? Well, I need to double check. It was either 2 or 3 billion, but the idea is if you got like $1 million liquidity and you get multiple $1 million worth of liquidity in and people buy in, the market cap goes up exponentially, right? So it doesn't take that much buys in to really push up to $1 billion market cap, because measuring market cap, it's a very sketchy metric. Richard Hart says it's a vanity metric. That's his term he uses. So do with that as you choose. But I think the main point I'm trying to say is it's not as difficult to get to $1 billion, if that makes sense.
That makes enough sense for me, bro. That sounds like it's gonna make some dollars and cents here in the future. So it seems like what they've got. There's 8 more days before the last airdrop occurs.
Yeah, no. So they got one airdrop, and then they got season 2. So they
Okay.
airdrop a bunch of stuff, and then in season 2, you can come back and get another airdrop. So the idea is what they're doing is they're extending it out, and then with this airdrop, they're using meme coins. They're saying if you get into these meme coins, you can be eligible for these tokens. You see what I'm saying?
Sounds like excellent marketing to me. I would like to be in where that liquidity's going to be deployed. That sounds like a good spot.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man. So we're looking really good. So that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's good, man. We got to give them the breakdown, the synopsis on blast. Maybe we'll go through the comments here, make sure there's nothing we miss or interesting that we should check out.
So you got any haters?
How about Ray? Let's check out Ray. Our boy Ray's always got something good, bro. Let's see what he's talking about here.
I have no idea what that is. Let me look at it. I mean, I trust Ray. I mean, Ray's a homie. Yeah, that does. Am I in the right pair? Because the one I have is very low. Oh, is that a Tropa token?
Yes.
Huh. All right. If this is a Tropa token, yeah, I haven't studied this token, dude. So I really don't know. I
He
mean,
said 414 Dev confirmed it on the second live stream earlier. So hey,
right.
some
Wow.
hot new. Not sure about it. It's definitely not financial advice.
Well, let me just take a. I mean, this is just me looking at it very quickly. So there's an AMV. This could potentially be potentially be the build out of the next phase of what's going on with the Atropa ecosystem, because I'm seeing a lot of tokens here. Wow. All right. I'm gonna check this out later. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I said, NFA baby. And the liquidity is very, very small. It's 3.4K. So yeah, so if you're doing swaps, man, you see these wicks right here. That's from people just buying in. That's why it's wicking up so high, because the price just goes whoop, and the trading bots come in and take a look at it. So yeah, cool, awesome. Anything else?
That's about it, man. That's what I got today. I think that was packed. They said it was jam packed full of alpha. So simmer on that for a little bit.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, man. So, like I said, guys, like, comment, subscribe, show us some love, help us beat the algorithm. YouTube doesn't like us. The Pulsing Maxis doesn't like us, but we don't care because we sit here and we keep winning. Keep in mind, I'm going to put out another video, so check it out in this week, and we'll get live streams back and going. Rolling next week. I got to head out of town for a couple days. So that's why we're doing Wednesday live stream. But man, we got like a lot of people in here. So maybe we need to start doing Wednesday live streams because it seems like people like that.
Okay, we got 100 people in here right now. If you like the Wednesday live stream, just put a W in the chat. Put a W because we get dubs, bro. If you put that W there, we'll see you later. Maybe we'll do the Wednesday. There was like 30 people, 35 people on Monday, but the Monday before that was like 100.
Yeah, it's
140.
Weird. I don't know. Maybe
do you guys like live streams? Let us know in the comments below.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, guys. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap that up, and we will see you guys the next one. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.